This is the CPU scheduling that we already saw in the last video. This is a continuation. In this we are going to see about SJF non-preemptive and then SJF preemptive, priority preemptive and then priority non-preemptive. First we are going to see about SJF non-preemptive. In this SJF non-preemptive means it doesn't break its execution, that is non-preemptive. First in the case of the process P1 will be entering into the processor. So the process P1, whenever arrival time is given, that is 0, the process P1 will be entering and it is going to complete its entire execution because it is a non-preemptive 10. So at this time all the process will be arrived and enters into the waiting state because the process P1 will be having the bus time as 10. So all the process arrived and it is meant for waiting queue. Next the process P2 is going to be entering. Why means in the case of this bus time, what is the shortest bus time of the process? That is P2. P2 is the shortest. So P2 goes for execution. Its bus time is 1. So we are going to add 10 plus 1, that is 11. After that we are going to check what is the least bus time, that is P4. So P4 will be entering. It going to execute for another 1 millisecond, that is 12. Next, after this, what is the least bus time is P3. P3 is going to enter and it executes for the 2 millisecond. 12 plus 2, that is 14. Again P5, that is last process, that is P5 is going to be entering. Next the process P5, 15 plus 5, that is 19. For the same question, we will be having the Gantt chart ending as 19, but the order of execution of the process will be different. Either we can have an FCFS or a round robin or priority or SJF. The Gantt chart number, that is starting from 0 to 19, will be same and the order of execution of the process is being varied. Okay, this is a shortcut for clarifying or verifying your problem. Okay. Next we are going to calculate the CT, that is completion time. P1 is 10 and for P2 that is 11, P3 that is 14, P4 12, P5 19. Next we are going to calculate the average turnaround time. Formula for average turnaround time is CT minus AT. This calculation is we are going to have 10 plus CT minus AT of the next process is also 10. Next for process P3 12, next for the process P4 11 and for the next process P5 17 divided by 5, we will be having 5 process 12 millisecond. Next we are going to calculate average waiting time. Formula for the average waiting time is TT minus BT, that is turnaround time minus bus time, where this is a turnaround time for process P1, 10 minus bus time, 10 minus 10 0. Next for this bus time 10 minus 1 9. Next one is 12, 12 minus 2, that is 10. Next 11 minus 1 10, 17 minus 5 12 divided by 5, we are getting 8.2 millisecond. Next we are going to see about priority non-preemptive. Priority non-preemptive scheduling. For the same problem, next we are going to draw the Gantt chart for this. At the initial time, arrival time 0, process P1 will be entering. Next, this is a non-preemptive, so the process P1 complete its execution at a stage 10. At that time, all the process arrived and enters into the waiting state. In the case of SJF, we have compared the shortest bus time, but in the case of priority, we are going to compare with the priority, highest priority. The least in priority number will be having the highest priority. Okay, so 1 is having the highest priority, that is P2. That is the next process P2 will be entering. So it executes for only 1 millisecond. Next, what is the highest priority is 2. Next, the process P5 will be entering. P5 will be entering and it executes for 5 millisecond. Already the processor is in 11. So 11 plus 5, that is 16. Next highest priority is 3 because the 3 has been found in 2 places. In order to break the tie, whether it may be a priority or an SJF, if a tie has been occurred means we are going to use the FCFS, that is first come first serve, in order to break the tie. So what is the first came process, that is P1. So already P1 has been completed its execution, so we are going to leave P1. Automatically P3 is going for execution. P4 is having the bus time as 2, so it is 18. Next we will be having the next priority as 4, that is for process P4. P4 will be having the execution time as 1, that is 19. So we can check in the case of SGF, the Gantt chart starts from 0 to 19, but the order of execution of the process differs. And for also priority non-preemptive, the Gantt chart starts from 0 and ends at 19, and the order of execution of the process differs. Okay, next we are going to calculate the CT. Completion time for process P1 is 10, P2 11, P3 18, P4 19, and for P5 that is 16. Next we are going to calculate the average turnaround time. Formula is CT minus AT. We will be having 10 plus and CT minus AT. 11 minus AT, that is arrival time 1. So 10, and 18 minus 2, 16, and 19 minus 1, that is 18. 16 minus 2, 14. Divided by 2 will be getting 13.6 millisecond. Next we are going to calculate the average waiting time. C, that is turnaround time minus bus time. That is turnaround time 10 minus bus time is 10. So 0. Turnaround time is 10 minus 1, 9. Turnaround time 16. 16 minus 2, 14. And then 18 minus 1, 17. 14 minus 5, 9 divided by 5. We will be having 9.8 milliseconds. Next we are going to calculate the SJF pre-emittive. In the case of pre-emittive, it is going to cut its execution. It is not going to execute as a whole. That is known as SJF pre-emittive. First we are going to draw the Gantt chart. At the arrival time 0, first the process P1 will be entering. At the arrival time 1, process P2 will be arriving. So it is going to cut the execution. In the previous non-preemptive, it is going to continue its execution as a whole. That is 10 milliseconds it is going to continue. Attest is it is non-preemptive. In the case of preemptive, it is going to cut its execution. At the arrival time 1, process P2 will be entering. It is a SJF, that is shortest job first. So we are going to check with the job, that is bus time of the process, with the current running process P1. So compared to 1 with 10, process P2 will be having the shortest burst time. So P2 will be entering. So P2 will be entering and it executes for another only 1 millisecond. Y means the burst time of the process P2 is 1. So it executes for another only 1 millisecond. So at the arrival time 2, process P3 will be arriving, P5 will be arriving. P3 and P5 will be arriving at the same arrival time 2. So it is a tie. In order to break the tie, we will be having FCFS in order to break the tie. So the process P3, the first time process is going to execute, and based upon this, we are going to have the shortest burst time. Compared to these two processes, P3 will be having the shortest burst time. So P3 will be entering. P3 will be entering and it executes for another 2 milliseconds. Why it executes for 2 milliseconds means after the arrival time 2, there is no arrival time. All the processes are arrived and it's went to the waiting queue. So there is no order of execution. So the process P3 completes its execution, that is 2. 2 plus 2, that is 4. Next, in the second cycle, arrival time has been over. Next for this, next we are going to check what is the shortest bus time. What is the shortest bus time is? Next we are going to have the shortest bus time as 4, P4. Next P4 will be entering and what is the execution time is 1. So 5, and next we will be having the next process P5. P5 is going for execution and it executes the whole milliseconds, that is 5, that is 5 plus 5, 10. The remaining process P1 executed only 1, that is it will be having 9 remaining. So it is going to execute P1. So 9 plus 10, 19. This is the order of execution. So we are going to calculate the completion time for P1 is 19. P1 is 19. P2 is 2, P3 is 4, P4 is 5, P5 is 10. Next, average turnaround time. Formula is CT minus AT. Completion time minus arrival time. Completion time of P1 is 19 and this arrival time is 0, 19. Next one is 2 minus 1, 1 and 4 minus 2, 2 and then 5 minus 1, 4, 10 minus 2, 8 divided by 5. 6.8 millisecond. Next, average waiting time. Formula is TT minus BT. Turnaround time minus bus time. TT means 19 for process P1. Bus time is 10. So 9. 1 minus 1, 0. 2 minus 2, 0. 4 minus 1, 3. 8 minus 5, 3. Divided by 5. 3 milliseconds. Okay. Next you are going to do priority pre-emittive. First you are going to draw the Gantt chart. Arrival time 0. At the arrival time 0, process P1 will be entering. Pre-emittive means it is going to cut the execution based upon the priority. In the case of SJF, we are going to cut the execution based upon the bus time. In the case of priority, we are going to cut the execution based upon the priority. That is the difference. P1, it going to execute for 1 millisecond at arrival time 1. Process P2 will be arriving and process P4 will be arriving. At the time of this, we are going to check the priority of process P2 is 1 and P4 is 4. So, 1 is the highest priority. So, P2 will be entering. And it executes for only 1 millisecond because the bus time of this process is only 1. So it is going to execute for only 1 millisecond. Next, at the arrival time 2, process P3 and then P5 will be arriving. So we are going to check the priority 3 and then 2. At this time, what is the highest priority is P5. Okay, P5 will be entering and it executes. Execution time is 5. After that, all the process have been arrived and enters into waiting time. So the process P5 is going to execute the execution as a whole. So 5 plus 2 7. And next P1, we are going to check the priority. That is P1 will be having the next highest priority, that is 3. So P1 is going to enter. After this cycle, first cycle, all the process arrived and it is executed and goes to the waiting state. After the completion of this first cycle, we are going to have a non-pre-emittive. So P1 will be entering and it is going to execute the whole, that is 10. It has been executed only 1 millisecond, remaining is 9. So 9 plus 7, 16. And then P3 will be having the remaining. P3 doesn't execute it, so it has been executing. P3 2 millisecond, 18. Next P4 only 1 millisecond, that is 19. So completion time for P1 is 16 and then for P2 is 2, P3 is 18, P4 19 and then P5 is 7. Next you are going to calculate the average turnaround time. Formula is CT minus AT. First one is 16. Next for 1, 2 minus arrival time is 1, that is 1 and 16, 18 plus 5 divided by 5. 11.2 millisecond. Next you are going to calculate the waiting time. TT minus BT. This is the turnaround time minus bus time. That is 16 minus 10. 6 plus 0. And next we will be having 14. 16 minus 2, 14. And then 18 minus 1, 17. 5 minus 5, 0. Divided by 5. We will be getting 7.4 milliseconds.